2 minutes of a pregame show, and hopefully the audio will be good. Hopefully the audio will be good, and we shall see. It's kind of nice when we're able to start a little bit early, just in case we have to reboot. Just in case we have to reboot due to audio issues. Let's see. Oh, we're going to reboot. Sorry, folks, we're going to reboot.
Okay, we are live again. Let's see what we've got this time. And let's see if I can get this restarted here. We'll see what it says on the restart. We're about a minute late. There's the chipmunk voice I'm listening to just to make sure. Okay, there we are. We are good. Okay. I always like to double check, folks, because you never know. Usually a reboot gets rid of the chipmunk voice, but I always like to confirm that before we continue with the show. So we are live, and I never have any idea where the chipmunk voice comes from or how to avoid it. Craig and the chipmunks, Alvin and chipmunks. And somebody said do a whole show with that. I think we did a show one time, and then everybody complained. So you can't make everybody happy. Triforce Rich is in the house. Williams Watches is in the house. Stig's in the house. Eduardo's in the house. Folks are all over the place. Durr's in the house. Williams Watches is in the house. And, of course, Lance is always hanging out. And let's see, Zombie Buserve is in the house. Okay, so we're going to talk about the concept of dress casual. It seems like all you folks like to dress casual these days. And by the way, just a recap from the other day, somebody asked me what shirt I was wearing, and that's the Kenneth Gordon heirloom collection, made in the USA. That one is linen. And we will show the picture here in a second from the other day, because we are talking about dress casual and what watches are best for dress casual. This is the topic. This is the topic. And if anybody wants to send me an email of a suggestion, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Dress casual is the topic. And let me see if we can get this one to load in. I'll show you this picture. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so there I was the other day wearing the 002 Stunner with some Bills Khakis and some Edward Green shoes. And by the way, we're going to talk about the shoes today. We're going to talk about those and the shoes that a subscriber sent to me. A subscriber was kind enough to send a pair of shoes to me, and we're going to talk about those. I got them today. We're going to talk about them, and but we're going to talk about dress casual. Notice I'm dressed casually in that photo, and notice I'm wearing the 002 Stunner. The 002 Stunner, this baby right here. I think you can make a really good case that is a fantastic, what we call dress casual watch. Let's go back to the photo. Notice that? I think it looks really, really good. Really good in that type of a dress casual situation. So let me know what you guys think about that, as the pontiff would say. And, of course, Durr has a dress casual watch. He's got a Day Date, a Rolex Day Date. That's a fantastic dress casual watch. Carlos has the Day Date 40, which would be a good dress casual watch. I think it would be more of a dress casual if it was in 18 karat yellow gold, but I think it would work. Let's see here. And let's see, what else do we have here? Craig, instead of a Cat 5 cable, you need to get an anti-chipmunk cable. There you go. Day Date sold, made an easy 1K profit on it. Phenomenal watch, but ultimately the all gold isn't for me. I prefer the 002 or Carlos's Patek. Understated class works better for me. Well, I'll tell you what, an 002, Triforce Rich, if you got your hands on an 002, you would be amazed how comfortable it is on wrist and how much of a joy it is to look at every time you check the time. It is a joy to look at. And I'll tell you what, I find this to be significantly more comfortable than the Date 8 was, and the Date 8 was super comfortable. But this thing is just, it just floats on the wrist like you don't even know it's there. It's just amazing, amazing. Let's see. That sure didn't last long, but can't say I blame you for ditching a 5-digit Date 8 during the house. Durr has a 6-digit, and that is definitely a good dress casual piece. That's what he should be wearing, by the way. Durr should park those other watches and just be wearing the Date 8. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what the man's thinking when he wears some of those other watches. My goodness. Intervention. We need to have an intervention on the Durster. Durster should be wearing the Date 8. He will find out when he gets older. When he gets to be my age, he'll find out that life is short. Life is short. Don't wear those marginal watches. Just wear the Date 8. Let's see. Trevor's Rich, curious, in case Brett bought it, all good. Okay, at Auto in the house. Usually I keep my watches for 1 year plus, but I knew it wasn't the right watch for me. Still stand by my statement that it's a phenomenal watch for the right person. Well, and you made $1,000, so there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And Carlos says, I agree, it's a very special watch for the right person, specifically the colored gold versions. Let's see, David's in the house. Hi, Craig and all. Oh, David, dress casual. That, your watch, would definitely qualify when it's on the strap. I'm going to make a legit argument. Let me pull up this photo. We'll do a time check while I'm doing this. You notice that 005 there on the right. Well, when you hit it up with a strap, all of a sudden, that watch becomes a lot more versatile, a lot more dress casual. By the way, we're having a thunderstorm here, so if we get cut off because of an unreal thunderstrike, then you'll know why. Okay, so here we're going to see it on wrist first. Okay. See, that makes it a lot more dress casual to have that alligator or crocodile strap on it. There it is compared with the bracelet. I'm in the foreground with the bracelet, and David is in the background with the strap. And then there it is, just sitting, hovering with the strap. I think that, to tell you the truth, the God's truth here, I think I would have gone with a black strap, personally, because it would pick up the black in the numbers around the bezel. You could go with dark blue also, but the problem is that dial looks black more often than it looks dark blue. So I would have probably gone with a black strap, but still, even with that dark brown strap, it certainly makes it more what I would call dress casual. I think that would qualify. By the way, as far as I know, David can let us know in the chat, I think that watch is on the market. And Durr says, Craig, what do you think about the ugly new Patek Calatrava that they just released in steel for $28K? Can you send me a link and I'll pull it up? If you email me a link, I'll pull it up. If not, Lance will probably do it. Lance is always on top of things like that. Let's see here. Leon, I mean, I love the 1980s, but I cannot do gold, no gold watches, no gold change, no gold pinky rings with diamonds. Leon in the house. I'll tell you, gold is not 1980s. It's timeless. 18 karat yellow gold is forever. Look at this one. It is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. It would not have that kind of impact if it was steel. Let me tell you something. It would not. And it's not like it just doesn't, it's not like it screams at you. It's just very elegant. It just has a very nice look. When you have to be dressed nice. I mean, you can't be, well, I mean, Nice pair of jeans and a nice polo shirt would work too, as long as you're not dressed like a slob. And we're going to talk about quality clothing and things like this, because it all comes together. Okay? The watch can be stunning, but if you don't have everything, the whole package, it's going to be a total fail. It's going to be a total fail. Our friend Blue Shirt just got a Doxa as Father's Day gift. He's loving it. Whoa, there you go. Does a vintage white gold present have to be rhodium plated? I know the new ones don't. I don't know when they transitioned. That's a good question. Yes, the older ones I think were. And I don't know when the transition occurred. I would pass on white gold anyway. I don't think, unless you're in a high crime area, in which case I would just wear steel. I mean, Carlos wanted to wear it because he wanted to be under the radar, but steel would have worked fine for that. So I don't get it. I don't get paying a whole lot of money for white gold. I just don't get the concept. I can't channel that. I just can't channel it. David's in the house. Craig cannot do black here in the desert. Got to go with brown in the desert. Okay. I don't know why that would be, but I'll roll with it. Triforce Rich, I already have my all-arounder Rolex GMT. Absolutely. I'm set for life, and everything else is a bonus. I think Triforce Rich should look at the 002. The 002 Stunner. That in rotation with his GMT, he would have it covered. Life would be easy. Life would be great. And Leon's in the house. I do like white gold. Not sure I just don't get the whole white gold thing. I just don't get it. Zombies in the house. I like they made that new Patek ugly on purpose. Yeah, it's like how many ugly watches can we sell people? Let's up the ante on all that. Craig, I just sent you the link. Okay, let's pull this up. So this is an interactive show here, folks. I'll do a time check while I do that. Do a time check while I pull this up. Coming up on 13 minutes after the hour, it looks like, officially. And let's see here. And Lance sent something too, so we'll take a look at that next. Here comes the Patek. I'll wait till this loads in. It's taking its sweet time. Meanwhile, you guys can study the second hand on that 231 Stunner. Look how smooth that second hand is on that titanium. That titanium Stunner. Okay. Okay, so here's the watch in question. You know, you guys prepared me by saying that it was ugly. You know, I was looking for something even uglier than this. Actually, the case design is not terrible. The hands are okay. I don't know what the deal is with that strap. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, I could do something different there. And I don't know, what is that inner dial for? What's the purpose of that inner dial? Does that do anything? I'm not sure what the deal is with all that. That looks like that's kind of funky. Is it got some kind of functionality there? Do tell. Do let me know in the chat what's going on with all that. Another special feature: the calfskin strap with white decorative seams, the prong buckle, and a delicately embossed pattern reminiscent of textile fabrics. I think it looks cheap. I think that strap looks cheap. Why the hell would I go with calfskin? I mean, what's the size of it? Okay, 40 mils, nice and trim, only 9 mils, but 40, I guess that's okay. Let's see what else here. A power reserve, 35 hours, max 45 hours? That's not very good. Yeah, I mean, it's steel. I mean, for $8,000, I think it'd be okay. For maybe around $8,000, right? But I'd have to do something with that strap, and I'd want a deployant clasp. I think that would be a full pass, even at 8,000. I think it would be a full pass. Pass on that one. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm wearing gold. I want everyone else to know it's gold. If not, I'll just wear stainless steel or titanium. Good point. Leon's in the house. White gold is like having a GS. Nobody knows what it is, but you know it is luxury. Yeah, but the point of having a power watch, a gold watch that you spend a ton of money on, the point is to be able to influence and you know, when you're doing a deal, you know, to be able to, you know, you want to be subtle, but, you know, you want to gesticulate a little bit and kind of flash that gold just a little bit, just enough to kind of close that deal. It's a tool. Yeah, you want it to be impressive. Otherwise, why spend all that money? No, I don't get it. I don't get it. You're not going to convince me. A brand name is worth a ton. That's why people pay more for an Econobox Mercedes with a weedy little engine and stripped out interior overloaded Lexus badges are a shortcut. Yeah, people are not, people have bad judgment a lot of times when it comes to buying things. People make poor choices. My motivation is not that much about crime than about the stereotype of wearing a colored gold brick. Interesting. Then yeah, I would just wear steel then. Let's see here. Dur's in the house. I was really excited when I heard Patek released another stainless piece, but then when I saw it, I instantly projectile vomited and got diarrhea for 3 days. Oh, that's terrible. That's a bad reaction. Carlos, I understand at Tree have learned about this too. Craig, is the only difference between your watch and the steel version the gold on it? The price difference is massive. I doubt your watch has more than 1 to 2K worth of gold in it. No, there's a relatively small amount of gold in these watches. You're not paying for the gold. You're paying for the work involved in fashioning that gold into this amazing, basically, work of art that's on my wrist. It's the same thing with Rolexes. There's not that much gold in those relative to the price. You're not paying for the gold. You're paying for, you know, the master craftsman and all fashioning it into this work of art, and the fact that, you know, he's making very few of them. Obviously, anytime you can make more of an item, your cost per item goes down, right? That's how all this works. So these are pretty rare, and the price reflects that. If you like steel, the steel version is fine. I mean, I think I don't see an issue with it. I don't know if there's any difference in the movement or not. I'd have to research that, but the steel version is pretty cool and pretty sought after. They were a limited edition as well, so they're kind of tricky to get a hold of. But this thing is just amazing. I mean, it's just, I just can't tell you how pleasurable it is to wear this watch, and just how amazing it is. I just am blown away every day that I wear it. So it hasn't gotten old. It hasn't gotten like, oh, well, this is just passé, right? Even looking at the deployant clasp, you know, even when I look at that, it's like, it's so freaking cool. And trust me, I've worn really, you know, not Pateks and things like that, but I've worn nice watches, you know, my whole life, you know, day dates and so on. And this thing just brings everything to a whole new level. So pretty freaking amazing stuff. Let's see here. So not sure if we have talked sunglasses yet, but I bought a new pair of Versace sunglasses because they fit the shape I was looking for. Eduardo, there you go. You should send a picture so we can see what they look like. Send a picture of you posing in them. That Patek is, in the back in the day, I always wore Ray-Bans. Sometimes Wayfarers, but most of the time Aviators. and I have a video on my channel showing a bunch of those. And now I wear prescription glasses that are not Ray-Bans, but similar style. When I'm driving and so on, I have aviator style sunglasses that are prescription, and I have some that are that get dark when you go out in the sun. I have both in the car. So when it's cloudy, I wear the ones that just get relatively clear when it's not sunny. That's how I do that in the car. That Patek is not ugly. It's just plain looking, Leon, in the house. What do you think of two-tone, specifically two-tone Submariner? I have never been a big fan of two-tone, even back in the day. I always liked either just the all steel or the all gold. It was personally the way I looked at it. But I don't have a dislike for the two-tones. I think they're cool. If you like it, yeah, go for it. It's just something that I would just rather just go all steel if it were me. White gold is like having your own little secret. There you go. GS does that. Try for search. Why does any 2019? Why does it say 2019 on the back? Okay. Okay. They probably made it in 2019 and released it in 2020. Okay. That Patek looks like a Timex, Eduardo. That's good. Cheetown. By the way, folks, if you want to send me any links to any watches that would be good, dress casual, that's the topic. That was the topic. Now here's a 9F that Lance sent me. I'm going to pull this up, and I'll show you once it loads in here. Interesting. That is unusual looking. I've never seen one like that. I don't know. It's a little bit homely looking. It's not horrendous, but let's look at all the photos. It's a good price. It looks like, I guess it has lume. I've never seen this model. And it's got crown guards. The crown looks a little bit small for some reason. I guess it's okay. Nice and trim, like most 9Fs are. Decent looking bracelet. Interesting. They're showing you the sizing. It's got some engraving on the back. Let's see what the size is of the case. It's not a horrendous price, and they will take an offer on it. There's some others. Look, there's some others. Much cheaper, right? So let's see the size of this. Case size 37.5 mils. So it's not a bad size, not a hateful size. Very interesting, Lance. Very interesting. There's some good deals on some 9Fs, I'll tell you there are. Okay, let's check out the sunglasses. This is from sunglasshut.com. I'll cut to it here once I get it in focus. Once it loads in. These are the Versace sunglasses. And yeah, they look pretty cool. They look kind of cool. They look like they would be kind of hip, kind of cool. I like them. They'd go great with an 002. I guess that's brass. Or maybe gold-plated, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's brass. $282. And these days, for a decent pair of glasses, that's probably not bad. That's not bad at all. I think they're kind of hip. I think they're kind of cool. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay. Okay, so this was sent to me with the subject pricing fail. Grand Seiko limited edition, 150 pieces, 39 millimeter caliber, 9S63 manual wind, 72 hour per hour, 29,000. So the one on the right is 29,000, and then the SBGY006 is $19,000. So, see, I think the rose gold one on the right, I think that might have a different movement or something. But yeah, their pricing is all over the place on a lot of these things, and a lot of it depends on if they're a limited edition and different variables. But in any event, I prefer the 002 over both of those. It's not even a close call. I'd much rather have the full-size second hand. I don't like the small second hand, and I like the power reserve indicator on the back. So I would go with the 002, this stunner right here. I shouldn't say I would go. I did go with the 002. Stunner. Let's see. Let's see what else we got going on here to make sure we're not missing anything. Patek Philippe 5170. But again, I'm not a big fan of a bunch of subdials and all that stuff and a chronograph and all that. I mean, some people want a chronograph. That's okay. Of course, I would go with the yellow gold one, this one here over the other. Absolutely. If I was going to go that direction. But I'm not a big fan of the Roman numerals either. I just think they clutter things up. Yeah, I don't think those would be my choice. Those three would be my choice if I was going to buy a Patek. There are other competitive options out there. Okay, so that's it for the emails for this moment. Let's catch back up here on the comments. Let's see. Patek looks like a Timex. I read that. Yeah, okay. That new Patek is nothing special in my honest opinion. At $28K for steel, it seems like a cynical money grab to me. Yeah, it's just amazing that people would pay that much for a steel watch. Just absolutely amazing. Centerfold 9, I saw that. I would only buy that ugly Patek Calatrava for 5K if they let me buy a 5711 Nautilus at retail so I could sell it for 60K and buy Bitcoin. Good plan. That's a good plan. I like that. Carlos says, I see that the Calatrava as a good business suit under the radar watch. That Calatrava. Yeah, I would pass on that Calatrava. Eduardo's in the house. I sent an email with a link to sunglasses. I got it. Okay, we showed that. I'm a little behind on the comments here, folks, just so you know. Triforce Rich, California weather. It is gold or steel is kind of irrelevant in terms of value. A head only gold watch isn't going to have much gold value in it. I prefer gold personally. Okay, Triforce Rich, understandable. If I'm paying that much money for a simple dress watch, making it out of an economy material seems like a slap to the face when you get a 5196 for half. Okay. Triforce Rich, gold is easier to work with than steel is the funny part. If you don't believe me, get an expert to go into that. Yeah, I would love to have an expert on the channel, but I don't think that's true. I think you have to take extra precautions. And of course, you have to be concerned with as you waste material and things like that. Yeah, it would be good to have somebody come on, but I seriously doubt that that's the case. So if you might be able to ask Steve that question on Wednesday. Oh, I think I got another email from Eduardo. You see this? Oh, cool. He sent pictures. Whoa, look at this. Look at this. That's that actor in that movie. I don't think that's exactly the same model, though. I don't think that's the same exact model. They look different. They look different. Yeah, I don't think that's exactly the same. But yeah, I watched that series on the drug kingpins. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Hoffman sub is greater than Tudor. Is greater than new Patek Calatrava. Is greater than Archery Luxury live streams. And does anyone know anything about Corpus Christi, Texas? Kyle Jett is asking the question. Are you headed that way, Kyle? Do tell. Considering people are paying platinum 5170 chronograph money for an all steel date only 5711 Nautilus, then yeah, the judgment isn't all there. You got that right. At ordering colors. If I pay $25,000 for a watch, I'm wearing it almost every minute of every day. Leon in the house. I hear you. Get your money's worth. Absolutely. Cheetown's in the house. So the problem is a lot of these people buy these watches and they think of them as investments. So they don't want to wear them and get any little micro scratches on them and stuff. So they keep them in the box and they're real careful with them and so on because they're an investment. So they're not going to wear them. So that's how that works. Sounds like you would be more of a Rolex man than a Patek man. Patek is poor value considering it's too delicate to wear every day. Cheetown in the house. Craig Archie says the all gold sub is very 1990s and no longer appropriate. Thoughts? Yeah, he's all wet on that one. No, an 18 karat yellow gold, all gold Rolex is always okay. As long as you're dressed nice and as long as you're, in the right area and hanging around with the right people and all that. I mean, that's all part of it too. Where you are and how you're dressed and all that all plays into it, right? If you're in the riots, you might not want to be wearing that. We talked about riot watches the other day. So it all depends on the time and place, right? Let's see. Lange offers better finishing and a free upgrade over any equivalent Patek. By upgrade, I mean you get a higher-end model for the same price as the first-tier, lower-end Patek. Good points. Patek has the heritage, name, and better value retention, which is important as well. Yeah, if you're going to resell the watch, it's important. That's right. But if you're buying the watch to wear and use, then that doesn't matter. Triforce Rich is in the house. I've handled both Lange and Patek in person, and there's no question in my mind that Lange is a better watch for the money. Higher end Patek is a different story, but I'm talking normal watches. And Zombie Reserve Craig, I just sent an email of GS pricing between two watches with the exact same movement, but the rose gold is 10K more than the yellow gold. That has to be a fail. And yeah, it also might be a typo or who knows, if those are the official prices. I don't know. I'm way behind on the comments. That Grand Seiko quartz is a 8J movement and not a 9F. Okay, the 8J movement was a cheaper but still great movement that gave plus minus 10 seconds a year. That watch is a JDM model with a screw down crown. Okay, I only wear sunglasses on a boat or in a convertible car. I love the Persol aviators. Okay, Cheetown in the house. Archie also wears 5 identical dress Pateks, so I'd take what he says about being stylish with a grain of salt. They're not really identical, are they? Isn't one white gold and one's yellow gold, and isn't one a world time? I didn't think they were all identical. I don't get the identical thing. I don't understand that. Please do clarify. Eduardo's in the house. I was going for the boss look from Narcos. I sent a picture of the look I want to replicate. That's 280T CAD, by the way. Okay, got it. If you zoom in, it lists the same movement for both. Okay, got you. Okay, we're with you now. There's in the house. Archie has the crappiest collection of watches he's ever had since starting his channel. Talk about ugly and boring dog turds. Uh-oh. They might not all be his. Some of them might be on consignment and he's selling them or something. Who knows what kind of deals he's involved in. Triforce Rich, hey Dur, his 5196 is a stunner. That Patek 5170 movement is an amazing movement though. Okay, 5170 is my favorite chronograph. It's an absolute stunner. Okay. Triforce Rich, I still think it's unacceptable that Patek uses the old, small 1970 movement in their entry-level Calatravas. Need to come out with a new and bigger movement for display. I hear you on that. Dur's in the house. The Patek 5196 is all right, but when you throw it in with 4 other Pateks, it takes on the smell of the other turds. Trevor's Rich, drug kingpins and older white men have something in common. They both love yellow gold. Hey, I was wearing a yellow gold Date 8 when I was 20 years old, so, you know, and it was great then, and it's still great. So that's the way that whole thing works. Mr. Q is in the house. I still haven't snatched that GS from Toppers. Green Aquaterra hasn't let go of my attention. Okay, gotcha. By the way, Mr. Q, thank you very much for sending the shoes. We're going to talk about them in a minute. I got to check the emails here. Yeah, I would pass on this one. I'm not a big integrated bracelet, and that case is ugly, and it's just, yeah, it just looks silly. That does look like something that a drug dealer would wear. Absolutely. Somebody with absolutely no class would wear that. Let's go on to the next one here. Okay. Yeah, I would pass on this one too. The Yachtmaster 2 is just busy, and yeah, that would be a no-fly zone for me. I'd much rather have just a Yachtmaster, an all gold, just a regular Yachtmaster. So yeah, we'd pass on that. Let's see what else here we got. The emails are coming in. Here's another dress casual option. Another dress casual option coming into play here. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. A date just with a black dial. Are you kidding me? With a Jubilee and a white gold fluted bezel? Absolutely, positively. Why not? Why not that for dress casual? Okay, let me catch up here. I don't know if I'll ever catch up on the comments. Let's see. The sunglasses are gold plated, but I'm not worried because my friend's father owns a factory in India and makes gold plated jewelry for H&M and other fashion stores. Okay. Check your emails. Craig, I just did. Craig sent you a link to Rolex that should have been made into a Tudor instead. Okay. We say 5 identical Pateks because we're lazy and don't pay attention to dress watch. Okay. Craig, what do you think of the A. Lange? Send me a link and I'll take a look. Send me a link, Cheatown. I thought Archie was trying to sell the Pateks for 150k meal deal. Yeah, there you go. I heard about that. Send a link to casual. Okay, there are a lot more people with 5 identical Rolexes than 5 Pateks. Good point. Gold Nautilus has that grandpa look. Lard Lange is great. I really consider 1815 versus 5196. I discarded it in that occasion because Lange only do white gold and rose gold. I wanted yellow gold. Yeah, yellow gold is the way to go. Triforce Riches in the house. They have, let's see, call them color. They have the same Submariner base watch in every color under the rainbow. Plus, I have personal connection with Patek. There you go. Okay, so let's talk about these shoes. And Mr. Q bought these new, I believe, in the early 90s. I think he said from Tom McCann. I think so. That's what he said. And they said that they were shell cordovan. And I did receive the shoes today. And see, they look nice and shiny. See, they look nice and shiny. I saddle soaped them. I cleaned them up. And unfortunately, and it was very kind of him to send me these shoes. They are 11Ds. They would fit me. They are very stiff. Okay. I believe these are processed leather. They are, what do they call it? Corrected leather, I think is the term that they use. And if we look real close, see those little fine cracks? Okay. You don't have those little fine cracks with shell cordovan. You'll get the rolls, little rolls, but you won't get those little fine cracks. And then also, if you look close at some of the stitching, see those pieces of thread hanging down? You don't see details like that on a higher end shoe. And to be shell cordovan, it would have been a higher end shoe. And I was kind of surprised that Tom McCann would have even sold shell cordovan back in the day. I was kind of surprised to hear that. Now, inside the tongue, this leather here seems to be vinyl. It's not even leather, okay? And the heel area here, this area right back here, that seems to be some kind of paper or cloth. Where the welt comes together, can't see that. Okay, see that? See where it's real jagged, where those two things come together? They didn't they sand one down and overlap it and make it so you don't even see where the seam is. They didn't do all that, right? So, okay, so the upshot is, I understand now why he couldn't break these in and why they really were not comfortable on his foot. Because this leather is not going to break in. I don't care how much you wear it, it isn't going to break in, it isn't going to feel comfortable. And what's going to happen is eventually it's going to start cracking and falling apart, and the whole shoe will basically, have to be discarded. And it is so sad. This thing, it said made in USA. Okay? I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if I believe that. But in any event, if it was, it was a very low quality shoe made in the USA. And that's a shame. That really is a shame. But it goes to show you that you want to be very, very careful when you buy anything these days. And I went, and this was bought in the early 90s. And let me just grab this other shoe here. Okay, to contrast, and you contrast it with this shoe here, okay, trust me, there are no loose threads anywhere. There's you can't tell any seam where the welt finishes when it comes around to here. The welt actually stops. You can't even tell. You can't even tell that the welt stops there, right? The finishing, everything is absolutely perfect. And you can look at the leather, you can see all the grain in the leather. And this, as soon as you put it on your foot, it's basically comfortable, right from Jump Street, and it just gets better all the time. And so it's such a shame, because another friend of mine bought a pair of shoes, and he bought his from Johnson & Murphy, and I think they've gone down the tubes. They've gone down the tubes. They used to sell some halfway decent shoes if you bought their top-of-the-line shoes. I've got 2 pairs of their shoes that I bought in around 1978 that were pretty good. They weren't like the Edward Green I just showed you. They weren't at that level, but they were pretty good. But now I think they've gone totally to crap. I think they sell a lot of crap. Allen Edmonds, a lot of their soles, their stacked leather soles, they use like particle board for some of those stacks. It's not even real leather. It's like, they grind stuff up and, press it, and it's garbage, right? So Allen Edmonds has gone down the freaking tubes also. It really is sad what I'm seeing. And we have to be very, very diligent and very careful. It's the same thing in the Rolex community. a bunch of fakes out there, a bunch of scammers, a bunch of issues, okay? So we've got to measure 7 times and cut once when we buy our shoes, our suits, our shirts, anything anymore. We've got to be very careful because there's a bunch of crap out there, okay? And it really, really, really pisses me off that people are getting ripped off. You know, if you're going to go and buy a pair of $50 shoes, okay, you're going to get crap. We know you're going to get crap. But if they're selling something that they say is $200 and it's on sale for $100 and they're claiming that it's all that, and then it's still crap, they've ripped people off. So yeah, I think we just have to be very, very careful. That's all I can say on all of that. Let's see. Got to catch up on the. I'm trying to catch up on the comments here. Okay, they make 1815 in yellow gold, Carlos. A lot of their older versions have yellow gold. Okay. I once saw AC3 review a Batman, Pepsi, Hulk, no date and date. Okay. The Rolex president does scream at you, but that 002 tells me nothing other than you are extremely tasteful and classy. It's the perfect watch for you, Craig. Well, thank you very much, Triforce Rich. Thank you very much. It is very elegant. I think it's a classy piece. I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have spent that kind of money. Trust me, I wouldn't have. I'm a cheapskate. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was absolutely amazing. Let's see. Are you going to use the shoes as target practice on me? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to use them as in case I need to use them to contrast and compare. They're going to be like a prop. And I certainly appreciate Mr. Q sending them to me because, you know, we've all learned something here, right? We've all learned something here, and that's what this channel's all about. So, and Mr. Q does said, good lesson, Craig. I appreciate the education. Well, thank you, Mr. Q. And like I say, a buddy of mine bought a pair of shoes from Johnson & Murphy, and he wore them a few times, and he can't get comfortable with them. They hurt his feet and so on. And I said, you know, I'm really surprised because they used to sell some good stuff. And I went on their website earlier, and I looked, and man, they've got a lot of crap. They're selling a lot of crap. They've whored out their name. They're selling a bunch of crap. And they were never super high-end. When I stepped up to churches and bought shoes from churches when I went up to New York, I knew that was a step up from Johnson & Murphy. My first 2 dress pairs of shoes that I bought were Johnson & Murphy. And I knew the churches were a step up. I got 2 pairs of those. And then, of course, Edward Green is a step up above that. But I'm disappointed that evidently the Johnson & Murphys that they're selling now aren't even as good as the ones that I bought back in, you know, the early 80s. That they've, you know, lowered their standards further down. So that's really sad stuff. Let's see. Maybe in the past, at least when I checked at the time, it seems I cannot purchase one. Okay. RWAG's Chip, you know your shoes. I'm getting an education. Well, you know, we're all learning here, RWAGs, because, you know, it's getting dicey. It's getting harder to get the decent shoes. Obviously, we don't want to spend more than we have to spend, right? But there's a lot of issues out there. And, you know, all we can do is be careful and do our best and measure 7 times and cut once before we spend our hard-earned money and end up getting something that's really marginal. And you guys know you can always run something by me. I'm not going to be able to do these shows every day forever, but I'm going to do them, you know, whenever I can. And if you're looking at purchasing something, if it's not a time-sensitive thing, if it's not something that you have to move on right away, feel free to share it during a show, and we'll look at it, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see if you're on the right track. We'll do our best. We all work together on this stuff. So Carlos is in the house. Fellow note for my use, use that watch not more than 10 times per year, only for a few hours. There you go. I guess you're talking about the Patek. Yeah, he bought it just for dress, extreme dress purposes. Triforce Rich, plenty of low quality crap made in the USA. They just use the name to charge a premium. Have to judge every item individually, regardless of country origin. I agree, absolutely. We have to really look, and the brands are whoring out their names, so that a brand that might have been quality might not be so much. And so even Limmer boots, I used to pronounce it Limer, but I think it's pronounced Limmer. Peter Limmer is still, I think he's in his 60s now, and I think he's still making boots. And I think he's still making the custom boots. But back in the day, they only made the custom boots. There was no option to get a off-the-rack boot from them, right? They didn't want to do that because it compromised quality. And they only wanted to make them made to order, made to fit, and so forth. And then they came out with the off-the-rack boots that are, by all accounts, they're pretty good, right? But they're not to the standards of the customs. And so everybody ends up eventually, compromising their quality to make an extra buck, right? To make a quick buck. So we really got to watch it. We really got to watch it. But there's still really good quality out there if you ferret it out. If you really search it out, there's some really good quality out there. So that's the good news. That's the good news. Carlos, why so infrequently? Why not buy a dress piece that you can wear more often? Well, I don't think he dresses up like that as often. I think that's why. Mr. Q, very glad I never gained confidence to list them for what they weren't. Good lessons. Teton, California. At least Tudor hasn't recently gone down the tubes. The shoe material is commonly known as pleather, half plastic, half leather. There you go. Fella, because the leather that they call, what was the term I used earlier? Corrected leather. What they do is they sand off the top of the leather, because the leather has a lot of imperfections, right? Because it's a low-grade leather. So they sand off the top of the leather, and then they basically paint it with like a shellac or something like that. And it looks real good. It looks smooth, it looks shiny and all that, and it looks good, right? And people go to the shoe store and they're like, oh yeah, look at that shoe. But it doesn't hold up worth a damn, and they're very uncomfortable. It doesn't break in. Like, what you want is full grain calf leather from the younger animal, right? Because it's thinner, and it's more dense, and it's stronger, and it takes a polish and all that, and it lasts a long time, and it's comfortable. That's what the high-end shoes are generally made of, is the full grain calf skin. That's basically what you want. And it's going to be at a higher price point to get that. Let's see, Carlos says, because I really wanted that time a special occasions watch, I have already other watches for other occasions. That's correct. Look at Suit Supply. They have taken over the market, doing extremely well. Thoughts? I bought 3. I would have to see them. I mean, if you like them, if they're tailored well and they're good fabric and everything seems right, then you're probably okay. But there's a lot of variations in the quality of suits, and you got to be very, very careful with that too. Chances are the Commander-in-Chief is wearing shoes made by Johnson Murphy. The 165-year-old company has been hand-making shoes for American presidents, starting with President Millard Fillmore. Maybe, Maybe they are still. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if you go to their website, they're selling a bunch of really marginal stuff. He showed the bottom of his shoes the other day. I don't know if you watched his speech at his rally. He showed the bottom of his shoes, and they look like they're bespoke. They look like they're definitely bespoke shoes. So I think there's something high dollar. So maybe Johnson & Murphy is making some bespoke shoes for presidents as a special deal. I don't know. But I wonder who owns Johnson & Murphy now. I wonder if it's owned by the same people. But in any event, I'd be very cautious of Johnson & Murphy based on what I saw on their website. I'd be very cautious. I would move up to Church's, and I would probably move up to Crockett & Jones. Edward Green, definitely. I love Edward Green. Their stuff is just, I mean, this thing. The quality is just absolutely insane. You know, the every stitch, everything is just absolutely first rate on Edward Green. So I really think they are the finest off the rack, if you will. I mean, not bespoke shoe that you can get. I think for anything, if you're the next step up, I'll put it this way: the next step up above this is bespoke. There's nowhere higher to go in a basically non-bespoke shoe. That's the Pinnacle. Edward Green. I'm going to stick with it. I'm sticking with that story. Let's see. Fella, no need for a date on a dress watch. Dress watches are for dress occasions unless you're in a penguin suit every day. Sports watches are where it's at. Okay. What do you think of R.M. Williams boots, Craig? Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's see what we can do. While this loads in here. R.M. Williams. I have no experience with them, but are these from Australia? Oh, for crying out loud. I hate these pop-ups and all this stuff. Register for this, register for that. First of all, I wouldn't wear any of these. Okay, so I'd pass on any of these. They're just ugly. Pass on all those. Pass on all those. Pass on all those. You might need to send me a link to a specific item because I'd pass on all these. See if there's anything decent. Why are they all the same? What's the deal with all this? Okay, let's go here to see if we can find something decent. Men's. Okay, let's go lace-up boots. Wonder where these things are made. I'd have to do a lot more research. I'm not a big fan of the Aldens do this too. You notice how that, why does it keep changing? I'm trying to point something out. You notice how that vamp is a 270-degree vamp and it stops abruptly and you can see the end of it there. I can't point to it. But anyway, I'm not a fan of that. You would have to spend more money, but my gosh, if you got yourself a pair of Edward Green boots, it's the difference between ice cream and poop. It's not even a close call. The R.M. Williams are not even in the same ballpark. And if you just want to get something really comfortable to wear, to actually wear a lot, that's really comfortable in a boot, that's not like super stylish, I would go with the Russell Moccasins, Russell Moccasin Company. I'd buy something from them. We talked about those the other day. Let me see if I can pull up. I got to get rid of a bunch of tabs here. Give me a second here so I can get rid of a bunch of these tabs. Oh boy, where are they? I'm getting rid of a bunch of tabs here. Just bear with me a second, and then we'll have control of this situation, hopefully. Okay, like for example, these Edward Greens, and of course this is I don't know if they would have your size, right? They got them on sale, but who knows if they have your size. But I mean, those are stunning. Those are just like, there's no comparison between those and the boots we were just looking at as far as quality and just everything, right? Now, I understand it's more money, but they'll last you a long, long time if you take good care of them. Sometimes you can just buy the best. Now, if you don't want to buy those, buy the Alden Indy boot and call it a day, right? Buy the Alden Indy boot. It's going to be probably the same price range as those, as these things. It's going to be in the same price range roughly, right? Especially if you get one on sale. But yeah, I would step up to the Edward Greens is what I would do. You'd be like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Sometimes you just get the best. Craig, I have received a lot more comments in the community about the recent class competition of DOSA versus 231. The general opinion is that perhaps you were not completely fair. Okay. All right. Well, no, I said the DOSA did pretty good. It just, doesn't quite trump the 231, but that's pretty good. If you want to watch that does it all and you need a date, then a date just is where it's at. There you go. That's the all-arounder. I think this situation is escalating and we should consider repeat the competition in a way that you would demonstrate your infinite fairness. We'll do it. We'll do it next show. We're running out of time on this show at 6 o'clock. We'll do another competition. I'm not... A rematch is always under consideration. Triforce Rich Carlos rematch. Craig just needs to accept his clasp is inferior. However, he has the 002, which makes up for it. The 231 clasp is amazing. I have to make that clear that I use it every day, and it's absolutely amazing. One of the best clasps I've ever had. Let's see, not necessary. It's nice to wear a dress watch more often if there's a date. I don't use my watch for the date ever. Ever. Whenever I need a date, I'm usually near the computer or whatever, and the date is sitting right there on the top upper right-hand corner of the monitor. I do not need the date on my watch. I would just as soon... Like if I was buying a Submariner, for example, I'd absolutely buy the Submariner. I wouldn't buy the Submariner date. No freaking way would I pay the extra money for the date. I think it looks better without it anyhow. So no, I would be a no-date guy all the way. Let's see. I'm really surprised about the kind of support that I've received about the class competition. I have sent you an email with some support that really surprised me in something I saw in TV. Okay, we'll take a look at that. If you need a suit, go check out Mason & Sons. They inherited the suit name, /cut from Sean Connery. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I would do about a suit today if I was buying a suit today. I'd have to really look into it. I would probably, though, just have Oxford make me a few suits. I probably would just go that way because they'll make them exactly the way I want them, and that's probably what I would do. Fortunately, I have more than enough suits, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's a problem. and a lot of the suits that are being made today, I wouldn't even wear. You can't even count on made in Germany being quality anymore. I have a Quamco, whatever that is, fountain pen, and its build quality and nib are crap compared to my cheaper all metal. Okay, got you. What about the DuPont fountain pens? Are they still any good? Sean Connery suit maker during the Bond movies, great quality for the money, and they made to measure or even bespoke will customize to what you want. There you go. The car is German made and okay, gotcha. Half leather and half vinyl is bonded leather. Pleather is pure vinyl. I'm going to talk to HD Straps about leather belts and see how he can make them in order to build a proposal for a local mom and pop shop near me. They sell high-end suits. Yes, see if he can make them so that like for example, if he makes a crocodile belt so that there's no seam in the crocodile. You don't want a seam, right? You want it all one piece on the crocodile side of the belt. It's usually crocodile on one side and maybe lamb, anyway, regular leather on the back end, calf skin. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, or something like that on the inside, and just make sure it's all one piece on the exotic side, whether it be ostrich or whatever he's using. You don't want a seam in that if you can avoid that. So that's a thing. I think Johnson Murphy or possibly both own Johnson Murphy. Okay. Craig sent you a link to Vineyard Vines Clothing Company. Check it out. I don't eat at Church's Chicken. Okay. All right, let's check this out, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. I'm getting hungry, and I get mean when I get hungry, and that's not a good thing. All right. So first of all, the oh, jeez. First of all, the dress watch. Oh my goodness! Can you imagine wearing something like that? I can see them doing a review on that on the watch box. I can absolutely see them doing a review on that watch. Wow, I got a bunch of emails here to pull up. Then we're going to wrap this up. That looks okay, but I don't like the flow of from where the lugs meet the case. I like it more rounded and more of a flow there. And Lange, they kind of make it look like they're just kind of stuck on there from the old, where they took pocket watches and converted them into watches thing. That was the thing. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Okay. Okay, here's what Carlos sent. Evidently, yeah, there's a lot of controversy out there. A lot of controversy out there. All right. Okay, and there you go. Look at what we're seeing. A lot of controversy. Fake news. Okay. Well, there you go. They got the stunning press secretary is siding with Carlos. She's absolutely stunning, and they've got the Queen involved. So yeah, it's a mess. Carlos refuses John to take place in chess chop. Oh no! Uh-oh! Carlos doesn't want it to be in the chop. That's good. Okay, well there we go. It's all over the news. So you've seen it here first, folks. Okay. So let's see here. Let me go back and see if the other email came in, because we got to wrap this puppy up. You guys are going to try to string this out. I can see what you're trying to do. You're trying to string this out is what you're trying to do. Vineyard Vines. What's this about? Vineyard Vines. So I don't know what the deal is on all this. I guess it's okay. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. Okay, that was sent in by the Lanster. The Lanster. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. American-made leather boots. Okay, this is from Mr. Q. Let's take a look and see what these look like. Parkhurstbrand.com is what I'm pulling up. I'll show it to you once it loads in here. Okay, and let's see here. Those look pretty cheap. I wonder what they're like. So I don't know. High quality, good looking, Goodyear welter, but right here in America. Well, that's interesting that they're made here, and yeah, for those kind of prices. Those kind of prices. I wonder if they actually make them or if they farm out the work. You know that other company. What were they called? Oakwood Boots or whatever. And anyway, that company up in Chicago or wherever the heck they are, they farm out all their manufacturing. I wonder where they actually make these things. But yeah, these are the kinds of things you need to do a deep dive in and really research it and see. I mean, they might be, $300 is not peanuts, right? I mean, that's a fair amount of money. So if you're going to spend that much for the boot, you certainly want to get something nice. But like I say, if you step up to Edward Green, yes, you're stepping significantly up in price. I grant you that. But you're also getting something that's absolutely amazing at that point. You're getting something that is amazing. Let's see. I'm going to go through this real quick here. I looked up Suit Supply. They're vertically integrated, and they have all wood suits. That's definitely a good thing. Well, it depends on the quality of the fabric. All wool is not created equal. So, yeah, I'd have to really look into all that. J&M, owned by Genesco, based in Nashville. Okay. Craig, what do you think of dress shoes with monk straps? I'm not a fan. Double monk straps are my favorite type of dress shoe. I know that's what Durr has. But no, I just like the standard lace-up. Mr. Q, I emailed you a link. These are not Oakwood's. I've had excellent experience with the fit, quality, and style. There you go. Well, there you go. There's a testimonial to those Parkhurst brand shoes right there. I checked out the Dokisa website, and not only do they barely have anything in stock, but those dang things are expensive. What is Dokisa? I don't know what that is. Okay, but anyway, we can agree that the Deep Sea has the best clasp in the business, right? I don't think so. Triforce Rich, the James Cameron has phenomenal clasp, but I think that the Omega Seamaster Pro 300M clasp is pretty outstanding as well. There you go. For suits, I like. There's Samuel Son. Okay, I'm wearing a Canali suit, which is very comfortable. There you go. Tim in the house. Ranking all your adjustable clasps. Where would you rank GS229 clasp? Let's see. Hi, Carlos and all. Tom is in the house just when we're getting ready to wrap up. Just for speed of adjustment, GS clasp is number one. But as far as bang for the buck, it would be dead last in adjustable clasps. Okay. I missed to attach another supportive message. It's in your email. Why don't you sell your tutor? Hey guys, come on. I'm trying to wrap this thing up here. And you're sending more emails. No, I don't see it. I don't see the email. So maybe I can get away with that. Okay. That's all right. Carlos, but the real test is adjusting it in the pool. Yes, adjusting it in the pool. Absolutely. Starting to like the Black Bay 58. We don't all love huge watches. I believe Doxa is pronounced Doxa. Oh, okay. I refuse to be tattooed in Paris for the Okay, gotcha. Thomason, but do what you want. Okay. Yeah, let's see. So original Submariners and Sea Drawers are lazy. Okay. We need to get Craig to buy Doxa so he can compare the clasps. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up because I'm going to go eat. And we do have to show the lovely Breeze website just in case anybody wants to go over and follow her on the various social media and all that good stuff, and maybe even become a Patreon. That would be appreciated. But in the meantime, click subscribe and click the bell so that you get notifications. Do that. Thanks for watching, everybody.